Hey there, guys. It's me, Redrick, here, the mom strategist. I am so excited. I'm so excited because tonight I'm going to teach on this really simple and important topic, 8 ways that you can tell when your prospects or prospect, someone that you're talking to, a potential customer, right, when they're not serious, right? And this is something that each and every one of you are dealing with every single week, I'm sure, as you're making your sales calls and looking to grow and build your business. Now, you guys already know I'm Mia Redrick, and I'm the mom strategist. I want you to do me a favor on this call. I want you to get your pens out. I want you to get your paper out, because as always, I'm going to share with you tonight 8 ways that you can tell that your prospects, whether or not a prospect is serious or not. It's something that's really important. It was on my heart today. I shared a short post, and many of you guys read it and commented about it. And then I said, what do you want me to talk about today when I go live? And a couple of you guys, Kathy and Tawana, said, and Jasmine, talk about this particular topic. And I know why you guys want to talk about it, because you're in the hunt and you guys are out there doing the work. And if you're out there doing the work, this is something that you see that comes up all the time. You know, one of the reasons that I love being in this community, hey, Adley, good to see you. One of the reasons that I love being in this community is because you each are giants, right? And the reason that you are here is because you are a giant, which means to me that, you know, you stand tall in your gifts, you stand tall in your value, but in the same token, the way that you show up in your business, the way you represent your own business and your brand, right? You're concerned about that as well, right? You always stand tall in what that looks like. And I'm really excited about that. I'm going to talk tonight specifically about the 8 things that the 8 things that you can use to spot someone that is serious but not serious enough to be an investor in your products and services. And my hope is that as a result of you hearing me share this tonight, that you will leave with a level of knowledge, or, you know, some aha or some epiphany, or maybe it's just a high five tonight and say, you know what, I experienced exactly that, and this is the way to handle it. Or maybe it's just that the next time you are on a sales call and you encounter something like that, hi Danielle, and you encounter something like that, you'll be able to better identify what that looks like, right? Is that agreed, right? That's agreed. I hope that you guys have had an amazing week. I can't believe it's almost over. It's been a busy week, and it's been a good week. It's been an amazing week, a very productive week for me. So let me just get started, and then I'm going to teach on this for the next couple of minutes, and then I will come back and see if you have any questions for me as a result of the topic. I think it's going to be a hot topic. And if you're watching the replay, remember to comment also. I love those comments as well, and I always read them as well, okay? So tonight, 8 ways that you can spot a fake prospect, right? A person who is pretending to want your services, but they have no interest in investing at all. Here are 8 ways. I'm going to share this with you right now. All right. So the first thing you're going to know is that, you know, I have a heart for this, because I know how hard each and every one of you are working currently, building your business, building your products and your services. I know how much you've already invested in yourself, you know, how you get up early in the day and you stay up late at night, and that in between, you know, carpool and doing the things you need to do, you've been working on building your business, not hustling, not grinding, but legitimately doing the things that you need to do to be able to grow and build an amazing business. And I think that you deserve working with your ideal client. I'm telling you, it's much easier to build a business with people who, 1, are investors, 2, who are investors in their own transformation, and 3, people who are willing to step into whatever that next level looks like for them. And part of that is making an investment and choosing and deciding what they want. And 4thly, working with people who honor their commitments. Really important. It's really difficult. It'll be really difficult for anyone, right, to build a business with people who do not honor their commitments. I want you to think about this for a minute, all right? Imagine if you had 10 clients. You had 10 clients, and each of those clients were paying you $10,000. And each of those clients, each and every month, they were late, they didn't pay you, they made excuses about why they couldn't show up. You know what I mean? To honor their commitments for you. Now, Is that success? Is that the kind of success you want? I think everybody's going to write no, right? So what we're talking about tonight, how do you make sure you are doing the things you need to do so that you're working with the right people from the beginning, that have the right mindset, and people who really are investors in your products and services, who take a stand for the results and who don't make excuses about the commitments that they make, right? And I'm going to be fully transparent with you guys tonight, and then I'm going to jump right into this. When I first started working with a coach, I did not have the money. And you guys know my story. I talk about it all the time. I didn't have the money. Terry was charging $1,000 an hour. And I was like, I don't even know what I'm going to ask her, right? So I paid her $150 for 10 minutes. I had to sign an 18-month contract. Why do I tell you this? I tell you this because I found the money, because I was serious. And just like you find the money, right, for what you want. I found the money because of what I wanted to learn. I found the money because she was the person that I wanted to work with. I found the money because it was my dream, and it was important to me to learn from the best and to learn how to build the business of coaching, and I knew I couldn't do it myself. And so it was a mentality. I never once thought about not paying her. It never came across my mind to not. That was a commitment that I had made, and I knew that because of all that was being sold into me, that I would honor that relationship by paying on time. Did that mean that I had a month or two that I had to figure it out and make a phone call? Absolutely. Absolutely, full transparency. But was somebody ever looking for me, calling me, Skyping me, writing me, emailing me for a payment for a service that I already got? Never. And I want to talk about this. All starts with, first and foremost, it all starts with what I'm going to talk about today. And I will say this, that I love my community. I work with a great, amazing community. You guys are awesome at that. Very, very accountable group of people. They're just awesome. And so these are the things that I have learned to look for in terms of identifying the people I'm going to work with. And if you guys are ready, I'm ready. All right. The first thing is, the first way you're going to realize that you're working with someone that's not really serious, or you're talking to someone that's not really serious about investing in your services. Number one, they want to talk about what they have already versus wanting to know what to do. That's a big one. They want to talk about what they have done, okay? And they're not interested in what you know, okay? Now, when you think about this, particularly for my coaches and my consultants out there, if someone is on the phone with me, right, and you're looking to package what you know or price what you know or, figure out how to build your funnels or how to set up your six-figure product or whatever that is, why would you want to talk about, right, what you have already done? See, what you've already done it. Wouldn't you be interested in knowing what you do not know? Now, that's the first sign. The first thing you're going to look for when you're on your sales calls talking to your prospects, are they interested in talking to you only, mostly exclusively? Do they redirect the conversation back to what they have already done? Or are they interested in asking questions, wanting to know what to do? And there is a difference in the mentality. And the call that I had today, this young woman had a great idea of what she wanted to do. And the fact of the matter is, but all she wanted to talk about really was what she had already done. And I called her on it 2 times and said, what is this about? You know what I mean? Like, what'd you call me for? Okay, because if you want to talk about what you've already done, you know what I mean? Just record yourself and listen to yourself. But if you're looking to hire a coach, usually most people are interested in what can I do to move forward if it's real. And you're looking for whether or not that motivation, that sense of urgency is real or not. And typically, if the person wants to talk about what they've already done over and over again, there is no real sense of urgency. They really want you to help them grow their company, right? Like in that moment. The second thing, is this making sense? The second thing that you're going to look for is that they will express a lack of gratitude for your time because they don't value time. And I want to talk about that for a minute. Now, I know those of you out here who are talking to clients, prospects all the time, you know that when you are talking, when you spend time with people, I had a call tonight with a client, quick call, right? And what did the client do? The client sent me a text back and said, "Thank you so much," right? So there's a way that people show up. Hey, Bobby, there's a way that people show up that when they are serious investors, they are typically also very grateful people. And people who don't invest are typically ungrateful people. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to explain the difference so that you guys understand what that looks like. People who are not investors feel entitled. People who are not investors feel that you should be giving them something, right? Like your time, your intellect, your energy, your ideas, helping them to grow their business, and they don't value you. And that is exactly what happened on that call today. Like, so as a result of me working with this woman for about 35 minutes, really supporting her, for my overflow, like I do with all my clients, she did not exhibit the characteristics that people who are, in essence, investors, right? Serious investors are very grateful. And think of it this way. Imagine that you were in one place and someone supported you to go from step 1 to step 2. Really, in your mind, you're thinking, "Thank you so much," right? It's like an automatic thing for you. And I will tell you that if you are working with or thinking about working with a prospect and they don't exhibit those characteristics, they likely are not the right person for you. Because people who invest at a high level, they value, right? They value what they're learning, they value what they're taught, and they value time. All right? It's just true. All right? And you guys don't have to put in, you don't have to put any hearts out there. You don't have to write any comments out there. But what I'm saying to you, I know that it's landing, and I know that you guys are getting it, and I know more importantly that you've seen it. I want you to think about it. Think for a minute about your best client. Think about your ideal client for a minute. Let's think about them, okay? And think about the characteristics that make that ideal client ideal. And I will tell you for sure, almost always, there is a level of gratitude. When I tell you every single day that I get a note from my clients who are doing the work, you know what I mean, who have applied something that they've learned, listened to an audio. I got one the other day. Who was that from? Kalina, yesterday. Kalina, if you're listening, hey, Kalina, from Kalina yesterday. Same thing. Thank you so much. I'm ready to rock it out. I'm ready to get it done. Why? Because that is the mentality of the kind of person that's willing to move forward. And a person that's not willing to move forward, usually they feel entitled, right? Entitled. So in this case, this woman got on the phone with me with the intention to specifically learn what I was saying during the sales process, figure out what I would charge during the sales process, because she wasn't interested in really investing. She was interested in me uncovering what I was doing so she could coach that way. That was her process, all right? Just want to break that down, right? Hey, Bobby, good to see you. All right, number 3. The third thing that to keep in mind when you are working with a prospect that is not serious is that they will have an agenda of what they need to know and be less interested in what you know to support them. See, people who are not serious, they are fixed about what they want to learn. And people who are serious about really growing, they're pliable. You know what I mean? They're like open. They're like an open chute. Like they're looking for the answers. So they tend to be more teachable. They tend to be more coachable. They tend to implement more. They tend to ask less but questions. They tend to be less about checking you out, right? Trying to shore you up kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are coaches, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you are working with someone that is not serious about working with you, you will notice that they have an agenda already what they want to know. Now, this woman already knew that she wanted to know about funnels. She wanted to know about pricing. She wanted to know about building her product. She wanted me, in essence, to coach her on that free call without her making an investment. She even asked me, how much should she charge? And I told her, I said, now you wouldn't expect me to answer that question for you, right? And I said to her, I said, in honesty, I said, it sounds to me like one of the things that you're looking for is a Band-Aid, right? Is that what you're looking for? Because if you're looking for a Band-Aid, then say, I'm looking for a Band-Aid. I respect that, right? I'm looking for a Band-Aid. And in which case, then we can have that conversation. But one of the things you will notice about someone that's not serious in investing in your services, they're not going to be fully transparent about what they want. But they know what they want when they are speaking with you. They're very clear. It's usually a very orchestrated conversation. You know, I talk to so many people every single week, 15 to 25 people every single week for years, right? And one thing I will tell you, most of my conversations aren't orchestrated, because when people are really looking for support, they're open, right? And so they're looking to be guided. They're looking for support. They want to know, what is the best recommendation you have for me? People who have an agenda, they aren't really looking for that. They have a very specific and narrow path of what they're looking for. Is this making sense, or is this making sense? Is this making sense, or is this making sense? Number 4. The fourth thing I want you to keep in mind when you are talking to your prospect and trying to figure out, is this person for real or not? Like, are they ready to move forward or not? You will notice that they will not commit when given an opportunity, because they are gaming. Okay. All right. They are gaming. And so what that means is that they won't be interested in anything that you offer. Okay. They may not say yes. They may not say no. What they might want to do instead is they want to see more of your back end. They might want to see your contracts. They might want to see what you send to clients, because they're trying, after all, these people are duplicators, right? They're creative duplicators. So they want to see your back end so that they can do the same thing. In their mind, they're thinking, if I just know what you're doing, I'll just do that, right? If I'm on a call with you, Mia, and I hear what you're saying, I'll just do that. If I see what you're sending, I can just copy that. Okay, that's kind of the mentality. And so just so you guys know what I do with that, I never send any. I just don't. I mean, just because I'm talking to you doesn't mean that you earn a contract, right? Or that you qualify to speak with me. So I'm not going to send something over to you just to send something over to you. You can always Google search me. You can always go to my website and check out whatever it is. Most of my packages are not posted on my website because they might not be a fit for you. All right. You have to qualify for my programs. And that is a way that you can prevent from giving someone all of your information and they have no intention of moving forward. Okay. In this case, she did not get any information, sent to her because she just didn't qualify for my business. Number 5. All right. They will string you along as long as you let them. All right. So what does that mean? That means that in a case like this, it could have easily been the case that she would say, I don't know, I think I might be interested. I don't know what I'm interested in. And so she wanted to know, like, what is your group coaching program? You know, what is the Core Moms? And she wanted to know about the Giant Circle. And she wanted to know, do you have any one-to-ones? Because she's trying to figure out what should her prices be. But she doesn't know how to operate in integrity and ask that. Okay, in which case I would have just answered that for her. But instead, she thought, well, let me try to unravel this thing, right? So they'll string you along as long as they can. And then if, in fact, the game continued, then she would have wanted me to send her the prices over, my price structure. That's usually what they want, or whatever communication you're sending. And that way, she can then say, I'm thinking about it. Can we talk another time? And then they can hear what you're saying. So you got to be clear that people like that will string you along. Let me tell you the difference. Think about yourselves right now. I'm thinking about so many of you guys in this community. When you said yes, you said yes. There was no stringing along. There was no doubting. There was no hemming and hawing. You stepped into what you wanted. And hey, Kathy, and when you decided what you wanted, you were willing to make an investment in what you wanted without any excuses. All right. And that's one of the things that you're looking for. So whenever you're talking to prospect and they're stringing you along, it's this long process of them making a decision. You need to adjust how you're coaching those people. Likely, they need a call to action. Likely, you need to let them know that if they don't qualify, obviously, you don't make them an offer. But if you do feel that they qualify, then they have a call to action. Within 24 hours, they need to make a decision. And if not, then they can pay full price. So I offer some specials within 24 hours for someone to say yes, okay? The 6th thing, okay, to keep in mind. Hey, Kathy. The 6th thing to keep in mind is that they might have you on a speakerphone right? And they might be recording you without your knowledge, which I believe is what was happening today. So sometimes you'll get on a call and with someone, and you're not supposed to record anyone without their permission, right? We understand this. And there are people who do this. And I asked her when we were on the call, I heard an echo, and I asked her, I said, am I on speakerphone? I said, I'm hearing an echo, and I'd prefer not to be on speakerphone. And she said, oh, I just want to write things down. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So here's the thing. One of the things to keep in mind is that, again, when you're dealing with people like that, because they want to know what to say and they're savvy about doing this, she probably spends her entire day, more energy trying to figure out what other people are doing than investing to learn what actually to do. They might record you. This is one of the things. And if you are in conversation with someone that you believe is operating in a way that's unethical, you have a couple of options. One, you can ask them. I've done that over the years. Two, you can just request not to be on speakerphone, as I did today. Three, you can say, are you recording this call? You don't have my permission to do that if you are, all right? And you can end the call if, in fact, you're certain that the call is being recorded. But that's one of the things that they do also, is because one of the things they would want to do is hear what you're saying, right? Why they want to hear what you're saying, so they can try again, duplicate what you're doing, all right? And you guys know I'm very sensitive about that. Number 7. The 7th thing is they will not have a history of investing. So this is a big one, okay? And one of the things that I always ask is, so give me an example of how you're investing in your business. And then I'll listen, and they'll say something like, I've built a website, or, or I've hired a graphic designer, and they'll talk about things like that. And then what I want to know is, have you invested in teachers, coaches, or mentors? Because that's what I do. And I also want to know what was their experience like as a result of that. I don't want to know names of coaches or anything like that, but I do want to know whether they have the heart for investing. See, there are a lot of people who have created success, and they're from the old school of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, right? And they have never learned that you can stand on the shoulders of other people, and as a result of that, create greater, faster success. And if you're talking to somebody like that and they have a habit of that, then you need to find out whether or not they are in a position mentally, right, to change that. And so I always ask that question. It's really important. If you suspect while you're talking to somebody, they don't have a history of investing. Somebody was on one of my calls recently, and, again, on the call, always being served 100%. But just not an investor at a high level, right? A gleaner at a high level, but not an investor at a high level, right? And you will note that when people are that way, they don't have a history of investing at a high level. They show up for everything. They want access to everything that's free, but they are not investors at a high level. They make excuses about that. Number 8, okay? The 8th is the deal breaker, okay? I hope you guys are getting value here. 8th is a deal breaker, is they are also in conflict about their own prices. So the other way that I can always discern whether or not someone is likely to be an investor with me is when I listen to them be in conflict about their own prices. In this case, this woman was selling something for under $1,500, and she was in conflict about it. You know what I mean? And the amount of time she was putting in, and how to value her services given her education and her background. She was in conflict about it. And so one of the things that you're going to find is that if somebody's in conflict about their own pricing, they're also likely going to be in conflict about investing. Here's the thing that's really interesting is, and why I recommend coaching tremendously, is that people who step into investing in themselves at a high level, they don't struggle with charging their value because that's how they're living. They already have the mentality for that. But people who are low investors in themselves struggle around pricing because they have never psychologically ever invested in anything that has allowed them to grow, right? Like grow here. Does this make sense? All right. And that was the case with this young woman as well. And I hope that what I'm saying to you, what I said to you today, that one, you got it, that you got value, that is making sense, it's a tough message when you're dealing with, so many people. I know you guys are out there, talking to new people every single day. The thing is, not everyone qualifies for your business. It's just what happens. It's just part of what we do, right? And when they don't qualify, don't try to make people who don't qualify, right? Don't do that, because what happens is you change the entire culture of your business. What I love is that, when I think about the people that I work with, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love them. And I love the mentality of my clients. They are investors. They're giants. They show up for one another. They are all about learning what they need to learn and implementing what they need to implement to create the success that they want. They take 100% responsibility for their investment. They value that investment by doing the work and implementing. And you know what? Even when they don't implement, they take full accountability around that to create that change that they need in order for them to move forward in their world and in their life. All right. And I know that, sometimes when you are newer in business, it's so easy to work with anyone. But I will tell you that working with any and everyone is the easiest path to having a business that you do not love. Qualify your clients. Only work with people who are serious investors. Only work with people who value the transformation that you bring to the table. Only work with people who can afford your services. Did you hear me? That can afford your services. They can't afford your services. I don't care how much they love you, but they are not a fit for your services, okay? And only work with people who have that spirit of gratitude, because it just changes your entire community. Are there any questions for me? Are there any quick questions for me? Did you guys get value on this one, right? Are there any questions for me? I wanted to pop on here and talk about this topic because this was something I dealt with today. But I know that this is something that we deal with. I deal with at least once or twice a month. And I just thought, man, let me share this with you guys, because you probably dealt with it also this week. If you're out there in the hunt and you're talking to customers, these are the things that happen. And I always like to be 100% honest about what that looks like. Are there any questions for me? Are there any questions? Okay. Did this support you guys, or did this support you guys? You guys are quiet out there today, right? Did this support you guys, or did this support you guys? Kathy, are you out there? Danielle, are you there? I know Bobby was there. Adley was there. Kathy, are you there? Okay. I wanted to give you guys time because I know that Facebook has a small delay. Okay. Are there any questions, any comments? I would love to hear your comments here. I know this is going to be one of those heated ones. I saw already you guys talking about people picking your brain. It's just part of the process, But you have the responsibility to put boundaries around access, right? Okay. I want to thank you for your time. I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. I love you guys. I look forward to hearing your comments on the replay. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.